Hi everyone. Welcome to today's video. So, full disclosure, I was sent this, excuse the cat for meowing. I was sent this colored pencil set for free by, by the Woomer, by the Woomer company in exchange for creating a video for them. And so that's what I did. They wanted, an honest review. And, sorry about this. I ripped open the packaging before looking carefully at it, and it turned out there was a color chart inside that part, which was kind of odd. But anyway, if you get this set, just be aware that that's what that was. So, as for these pencils, so my first thought off the bat, so I picked this project because I really wanted to do it, and I am gonna do it again in probably in Prismacolors because I actually want to do it, and these pencils sadly did not have the blending capabilities that I wanted for these animals, for this project. So I want to try it again with Prismacolors. But anyway, my first thought off the bat when I first opened the pencils and took out the colors that I wanted to use was that the white looked really odd. Like it almost looked cream colored. It didn't look white, and I was really confused at first, and I was like, wait, there's no white? How can you have a set of 72 pencils, right, with no white? But yeah, that was the white. It just looked really odd to me, but when I used it, it actually did come out as a white color, so I don't know why it looks so weird. Anyway, then I went through this set, and I must say some of the naming was, well, first of all, the names are incredibly hard to see on these pencils. They're in gold. I couldn't see anything. Secondly, the sort of how they name things was kind of strange. Like they had I think they had like Cold Gray 4, Cold Gray 3, but no Cold Gray 1, no Cold Gray 2. Just, things like that. It was an odd set to say the least. But, I figured they were free. They sent them to me. Let's give them a try. So like I said, they weren't the best for this particular project, which was unfortunate because I was really excited to do it. I will say they were extremely creamy and fun to use in that respect. Like they actually layer really well. They're very, very creamy. Once I looked them up on Amazon later, I discovered it's because they're mostly oil and instead of wax, and but they do seem to have some wax in them, but they're more oil based than wax based, which might explain why they were, I don't know, but they were very, very easy to layer, very creamy, just not good for burnishing, which I'll get to later. But anyway, I also purposefully did not look up the price of these pencils. I didn't want to know how much they retailed for because I didn't want to form any assumptions ahead of time. I wanted to kind of try them out and then figured, okay, later I'll see, sorry, my cat keeps meowing. I'll see later how much they retail for and decide if I think they're worth it. But as you can see, I'm just like putting the shadows in, and I actually used hot press watercolor paper, and the reason for that was because I wanted to try them with solvent as well, and I did find out, they don't work very well with solvent, which now I know they're oil based. That again makes a lot more sense because the wax based work a lot better with the solvent. So in any case, I was just drawing. Okay, so one thing I'll say is, so finally I looked them up, right, after trying to complete my project, and I was not shocked actually to see that they were $29.95. They're okay. For that price, they're not bad. For that price, they're not bad. I have used worse, is what I'll say. Anyway, and then I started reading the description, and a lot of it actually tracked in terms of like, they didn't break easily, which was super impressive because I sharpened them a few times, and I really hate when the points break. Like, it actually freaks me out. That didn't happen, which was quite impressive. So yeah, they're very hardy, I guess you would say. Then I started reading the reviews, and well, first I read all their characteristics, and I was like, yeah, okay, they're oil, that tracks. They're really hard, they're creamy, they're good for layering, etc. And then I started reading the reviews. Uh-oh, sorry, dog. Molly, stop. And I don't know, obviously, how many these reviews... Stop it. Molly, shush. How many of these reviews... Oh my god, I'm going to kill my dog. How many of these reviews are legitimate? And sorry, my camera slid at this point, which is why there's that weird thing in the corner. Anyway, I don't know how many of these reviews are legitimate because honestly, I don't know if you saw the one, but there's one that's like, I have all the pencils, luminance, and, polychromos, and like Prismacolor, and these are right on par with those. And I was like, are you on crack? Because no, I have all of those too, and these are not on par with those. That being said, again, for $29, whatever, they're not that bad. I think they'd be great for a coloring book, a child perhaps, but if you're an artist, I wouldn't necessarily go for these. Anyway, so I guess for me, they were like, okay. Like, they had some strong points, but they also had some weak points. And at one point, I finally just gave up and started blending with the Prismacolor and the luminance because I tried to burnish with these and it just wasn't happening. And now that I found out they're oil, that does make more sense, but I still was really frustrated with the non-burnishing. And so like I said, I'll be doing this project again with Prismacolors, possibly as a tutorial, we'll see. And finally, the final shot that I got was just to show you, because they do layer super well. And so I just went back and tried them over the thing. I put the glove on, and I put the some of the heart on, and I was actually super impressed by how well they layer, because it was... They were pleasurable in that respect because they're very creamy and easy to layer. And so that part was really nice. Everything else was kind of like, yeah, I just use Prismacolors or luminance and I'd be a lot happier. Anyway, that's my honest review. Thank you to the company for sending these to me for free. That was really kind of you. And if anyone else wants to do that, I'm open to it. But, I have to be honest, because I can't not be honest with you guys, and that's my honest review, is that they're okay, they're fine for whatever, but I wouldn't use them if you're trying to be like a serious artist. Okay, anyway, have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and like and all that cool stuff. See you next time.